Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we've got, you guys guessed, Ghostbusters 2. Alright, let's just go in blind and just hopeful. It already seems better than the Gameboy version, than the NES version. You know what, we're gonna be Ray. Ray and Egon, that sounds good. We like Ray and Egon. All right. So what do we have? Okay, so you trap there and he does it. Okay. You know, interesting. It's going to be a little awkward at first. I think we'll get the hang of it fairly quickly. Okay, that is really going to be obnoxious. Like trying to get your other guy in position, really not gonna work. This okay. It's gonna take some work, and unfortunately, I think the biggest problem I have with this game right now is time limit. Like, there's a time limit on this. It's already awkward enough. I mean, kind of get the hang of it a bit. I don't know why we keep getting stuff. Oh, and he got stuck. Yeah, the AI is not good enough for this. Like, this is a basic level. He already got stuck a little bit. We're already on a time crunch. Yeah. And the fact that how close you have to get to do it, like he has no range on it. The whole thing is, I get it, and you know, it's not bad in concept. I think it was a good concept, but I think in reality, it doesn't really work. I mean, it's already better than the original. What the hell? Alright, finally get there. Or are we going back? We are. At least nothing respawned this time. That's kind of nice. Okay, we gotta find this door. Oh, there's some Slimers. Okay, so we just have to hit a certain amount. There's 10 more that we need to get. Huh, I guess we were going the right way. For whatever reason, I thought we were going the wrong way, but no, we were going the right way. It just seemed, I don't know. Everything, that's the one downside to this game, more so than our little AI friend that we have, is the levels are very, very much the same. And so everything just looks and feels the same. I don't know. I guess we get to switch guys if we want to. Oh, he's got a whole new... That changes the game immensely. Honestly, if that stays that way, we're just going to go with it. No, okay, it was just a little one and done thing. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, the AI is not good for this. We're supposed to be getting 25 ghosts, but we can't even figure out where anything is. Can't get past things. See, we have what looks like a pickaxe, but we can't. It doesn't seem to let us use it. I don't know if it's an auto thing or what, but we can't get past that. Yeah, I don't, like, we have an item that, it's Gameboy. There's two buttons besides select and start. Start pauses, obviously. I'm hitting select and it's not doing anything. And that's it. That's all we've got here. I mean, the fact that this game's on a time limit really kind of... It's very understandable because there's not a lot involved in this game, so having a time limit is something. But we have to be able to use the item, and again, there's not enough button. Okay. That was... So, rather than go through the tables and chairs, we go through the wall. Alright, well that doesn't do us any good, does it? Yeah, the AI is going to be the death of everything here. Like, trying to control the other guy to get into the spot that you need him to really sucks. So now the game, all we do here is just sit and wait for them to respawn. Like, it's... I get what they were doing, and in theory, again, like I said, it's not a bad game, but in practice, in reality, it's not very good at all. It's so unintuitive to be able to just randomly just hit a wall and go through it, but we can't go through a desk. We can go through a wall, not a desk. But we're wasting all this time, and we're at the mercy of the game spawning enemies. Like, if they're not spawning enough, we can't do much about it. Again, like I said, it's not a terrible game, but it's bad in different ways than the original was. You know, it thought, like I said, it thought like it had some interesting things to it. It would be great as a two-player game on a different system. This would be a good game. Okay, so alright, so the time limit isn't like a huge thing, which is good because this whole timer thing with enemies not spawning properly, and to do this is kind of dumb. Like, now we're just, instead of ghosts, now we're just doing ghost logo. Like, why? Why would we bother? Why do that? Why not just keep the ghosts? If the time limit doesn't matter, which it doesn't, obviously, maybe we're not going to get the bonus points for it, whatever, then why have it at all? And why are we doing the logo thing respawning after the time limit rather than just having ghosts? Like, it doesn't make sense. There's zero reason for it. And again, so we're at the mercy, we're on a time limit, kind of, but we're at the mercy of this game spawning enemies. Like, we're running around in circles, waiting for an enemy to spawn so we can finally finish up. And then we need to be able to get our dude. Yeah, everything about this, like, in practice, sucks. In theory, it was an interesting game, like, an interesting take, kind of unique or whatever. But we can't control our dude. And now he doesn't even do anything in this one. So I guess he's invincible. Okay, so he is invincible. He doesn't do anything. He's invincible. Do we collect? Oh, okay. Now he's invincible with the ability to fire, though. Like, I don't know. I think that what they're doing is also kind of stupid as far as bosses go. Like, why are we all of a sudden, our guns are all of a sudden firing projectiles rather than being beams? Like, none of this really works or makes sense, like, at all. It's like, in theory, yeah, I get it, and most of the game does function. But also, what's with the slimes? Like, they're like RPG slimes. Like, these ghosts don't make sense. Like, the enemies don't really make sense either. Nothing about this game really... I mean, these guys right here, definitely. I get them. The Slimers, yes. But the slimes and just, like, these random levels. And at the end of the day, this is becoming a very just boring, same thing over and over. I mean, it's the same three monsters, or ghosts, I guess you can say, with very mediocre levels, and having things come out of the woodwork like that when we can't control the other dude. Like, everything about it just is not working how I think they anticipated it. Again, this would be a great game on Super NES as a two-player game. I think this would work perfect. I think it would be a lot of fun. In this, no, it doesn't work. Like, our guy's stuck over there, and now again, we're timed. Like, it's just obnoxious. Like, we have to get into the right spot, they have to get in the right area. All the while, the timer is ticking down. The boss fights don't make sense because all of a sudden we're doing different things than we are throughout the rest of the game. Like, make it to where we have to keep hitting him a little bit and, like, weakening him so that we can, you know, trap him or something. Do something else than shooting him with a gun for the most part. Like, the entire game is this, but then the boss is completely doesn't make sense. And of course we can't do anything there. And I get that they're ghosts and everything, but they're kind of just popping out of nowhere with very little control that we have of the character. Just doesn't really work. And, you know, it'd be kind of interesting if they actually had each character slightly do something a little different or something, you know? Other than a very, very interchangeable things where you can see they're different, but for the most part, like, not too much. But what I mean, it's Gameboy. What do you expect, you know? But again, here we are on a time limit, nothing around. So we're just wandering around, hoping that the game will spawn something for us. So, and we only had one left, and now we run out of time. So yeah, it's still more playable than the NES version. Hey, they did move up and change the ghosts. I mean, everything is still pretty much the same. Those guys are just more like Slimers. I mean, it actually has an attack. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's really obnoxiously broken. That's just going to keep doing that. Like, that is dumb. Like, how long that followed us like that, being invulnerable, is really... Again, there's just so many things wrong with this game. You know, it is playable, and there is something there, definitely, but I really feel like they did the wrong thing on the wrong system, and this game honestly could have been something actually fun and interesting. It should have been released on Super NES. That's 100%. I mean, NES would be good too, but I think there's so much more stuff that could have been done in this aspect on Super NES with 6 buttons and being able to do a lot more things with it. But even still, even on NES, a 2-player game would be perfect for this. It'd be fun to sit down with your buddies. One person is the trap guy, the other one is doing the shooting and being able to control, do things where your one guy can be avoiding things while you're trying to do it and get into the right position. The way it is here, like the AI was still budding for the most part in all these early iterations of gaming. But you can see that like they tried and it did okay, but there's so much wrong with having a unmovable follower that just does its own thing that it lends to so many more complications and problems that could have been much better being on a better system. That, and they could have had so much more fun with colors, with level design, with so many other things if it wasn't stuck on a Game Boy cartridge. Like Game Boy was again, don't get me wrong, is a great system with wonderful games on it, and there's certain games that work great for it. There's certain things that work really well for it that you can have so much fun on Game Boy. But there's a lot of games, a lot of game types, and everything else that just does not work on Game Boy. This is kind of one of them. They're limited to whatever, to everything. So they had very, very boring level design, which is just a whole bunch of like one room or two and whatnot. We finally got a couple different mobs. One of them was just absolutely stupid with the spinning and chasing you down with nothing you could do about it. That was obnoxious, but that's here nor there. That's fine. Having a harder enemy that we got to work thing, but like there's so much wrong with this game. The AI, the fact that you're trying to control 2 characters on Game Boy with 2 buttons doesn't work. I mean, you could have done this more on Super NES where you could have kind of controlled him with the other buttons while you're doing other things, but just the timer that is not really a timer, that all of a sudden the ghost just stopping ghost after the timer, but you don't end the level, you don't need anything else. They just turn into the Ghostbuster logo, when that was really stupid too. There's no point to that. Why? What is the reasoning behind that happening just because the timer ran out? Like, then what's the point of the timer? Don't have the timer, just do the thing, have some fun with it, allow people to just kind of run around and do whatever. The boss fights also, like, I know there's only so much you can do, but honestly I feel like you should have been able to shoot them for a while, have to weaken them in order to trap them. But in that note, you really are not going to be able to do it, because having the AI that you can't control moving around with enemies that are moving that you can't avoid. I get why he is shielded and just sits there, but honestly, like, even at that, shield him, have him sit there, you do your thing running around trying to weaken him up, have some kind of gauge or bar, that once they get to the point that you can actually have your dude trap them and call it a day, I think would still be more fitting in the realm of what Ghostbusters is. But to all of a sudden have these weird projectile-based things coming out of your plasma gun doesn't make sense, doesn't really work with the game. And just there's just too much wrong with it that it's still a somewhat silly, enjoyable game, but only honestly for a few minutes. I think it loses its luster very, very quickly and becomes a very boring schlock because it really is the same thing. You know, you got the levels with the same enemy or two or three. The levels have no real differentiating. It's just all the same schlock, just go around in a circle. And then the whole waiting for the enemies to spawn, like you have a certain number you have to do, but you don't even in control of being able to do it with the timer because you have to wait for them to decide to spawn a ghost to catch it. Otherwise, you're either standing around or walking around in circles doing absolutely nothing. And that again is just takes so much out of the enjoyment of the game, where you're just sitting around waiting for something to spawn while a timer ticks down, while you have certain things that you have to think. It just nothing in this game really works well, and I don't think it's going to be an enjoyable issue on Game Boy. So all in all, it is playable. It's still actually better than the NES version, the original, but it still really is an unplayable schlock that's just kind of very much a cash grabby Ghostbusters because the movie release kind of thing, where they didn't really put a lot of effort, a lot of thought into it. They did put more so than the original. Again, I mean, this was unique, and if it was on a better system with a two-player mode instead of the one, I think this would have actually been able to gain traction and actually have been something. But as it was, they put it on Game Boy, they did too many things wrong, and I really feel like this game is a big, massive fail. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining. Until next time, have a good one.